Hello, and welcome to another week of the Abuse Cartoons live stream. So you may notice it's looking a little bit more back to normal. So no green screen this week. That was something I had set up at home, and fortunately I don't have to stream from home this week. So I'm back. Let's see if I can get this camera to... There we go. So I'm back to a little more normal, at least maybe easier to draw. Oh, sorry. A little more normal situation. And yeah, so hopefully this goes smoothly. How's it going, K5? Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yes, there's a good reason. That's right. I had to have a haircut. Yeah, so I may be having to attend a funeral shortly. So my wife's grandmother is not doing well, and she's in the hospital. So my mother-in-law requested that I get a haircut for the funeral. I can get some extensions in the meantime. Yeah, sorry. So I'm post-corona now. I'm feeling like I'm. Oh, sorry. I mean, I'm post bad weather. I'm post the health situation. So I'm feeling like things are returning to normal. But yeah, I got all chopped off, and it's so hot here now already, the beginning of the summer, that it ain't easy to have longer hair. But yeah, sorry, I got my hair all chopped off. But it's for family reasons. Yeah, so my wife's grandmother is in the hospital, but she's always been very strong. She's in her 90s, and when she's asked how she's doing, or is this it, or how do you feel? She's like, not yet. She's fine, and she stopped eating and then started feeding herself again. So it's impossible to know. She's very strong-willed. So yeah, but I was kind of told to prepare to dust off my black suit and kind of prepare. And this will be the first actual Japanese funeral that I've attended, which is good. That means, not a lot of family members have died. But yeah, I guess it's kind of a 3-day process. They have kind of a wake, something similar to a wake. So as I experience this, I'll kind of recount how things go and kind of let you know how that is different from the U.S. Yeah, I'll have to try different wakes. Yeah, so it's for a sad reason, but it also will keep me from being a sweaty mess the whole time. But it comes back, it grows back. But yeah, that was the first thing that when that was explained to me, that was the first thing that she said. It's like, and I really would appreciate if you got a haircut before, because it's going to be the whole family. She's kind of the matriarch, the last remaining kind of matriarch of the family. So it's going to be a big funeral. So I'll be meeting a lot of people and a lot of distant relatives. So yeah, it was a request. Yeah, so kind of back to a little bit of normal, which is good. It's been too long that things have things have just been weird for too long. So it's nice to be able to draw again in some good way. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still not sure about the beard, though. I didn't really do anything to the beard, so I think the beard just looks bigger now. But I know I was enjoying the long hair. That happens every few years where I just don't get a haircut. So yeah, you can kind of gauge every few years I get long hair, and the quarantine kind of lockdown was a good excuse not to do anything. Oh man, it is so nice to draw on this huge tablet again. I can't believe how I was struggling to do that. Yeah, wow. So things are probably going to look different than they have from previously. But yeah, sorry for the radical change. I guess everything is looking different now. But yeah, I'll try to make sure the camera's okay. Yeah, it's got that. I'm doing the weird angle again. But yeah, so no hair at all now. And unfortunately, it's so humid here that all my hair gets all curled up. So that's fun. And that's also why it's difficult to get to find a a Japanese barber that kind of understands how to cut foreign people's hair, because they don't understand like your hair getting curly when it's humid, because most Asian hair just doesn't. It's nice and thick. There's not much of a natural curl to it. Although some, I think it's Okinawa, like the southern islands, some people have kind of a kinkiness to their hair. Not very tight, but kind of a natural wave. Kind of the Pacific Island, if you like, Tahiti or whatever, if you've seen pictures, or even like the old Hawaiian pictures, like original Hawaiian people, there's a little bit of a wave to their hair. But then that got all Chinesed out, I think, once, Japanese people started to exchange genes with the Chinese. All right, yeah. So I think I can stop drawing boxes now. All right, yeah. So this is good. Back to a little bit of normalcy. Hey, how's it going? Walges. Nice to see you. Thanks for dropping by on the stream. Yeah, so this happens every week, and hopefully it'll be a little bit easier for this to happen now that I can get into the city and be back on all the old equipment. Oh, sorry, let me turn that fan off. Yeah, I did that before. I noticed a few weeks ago I had a fan in the background, and it completely destroys the audio. Oh, and sorry, no traffic cam. Yeah, no outside camera this week, because that camera is at home. That was the camera that was pointed at my face at home. So I don't have enough webcams. But yeah, I will get that back soon. If this becomes my normal situation again, and I don't have to do things from home, then I'll get the traffic cam going back on. Maybe try to think of something else too that would be fun. Just something pointed out at the sidewalk. If I could get a wireless camera, I could just like mount it on the building and get a funnier sidewalk view, or just like down the street, because one way down the street it gets more busy. There's actually a Statue of Liberty on top of one of the buildings in this area. There's a clock. There's a big clock with the temperature and the time, but it's also has this big, like a, I don't know what it would be, very small scale, maybe like a 10th scale or something, Statue of Liberty on the top of the building by the clock. So that's the first thing I see when I get off the train at this station, is a replica Statue of Liberty. But yeah, so there's more like weird stuff, and like a hotel with looks like a weird castle. It's a little more Las Vegas looking down at that end. So pointing a camera towards that might be fun. And yeah, just watching the people crossing. Yes. Finally made it back. Yeah, so things are getting back to normal. I mean, everyone, like 100% of people have masks now in Japan. But yeah, sorry, I can't find a good camera angle. It's a little close, but yeah, I guess I'm used to the it being set back on the table. But yeah, things are getting back to normal. All the businesses are open. Schools are on their way to being open. The high school here now is definitely open. I saw the huge crowds of kids, but it looks like they're doing half days because the kids were leaving school already, and I got here, like 11 something, or quarter to 12. So the kids are still doing half days, maybe to try to cut down on interaction. And also I heard sometimes, or some schools decided to split classes, so like half the class comes in the morning, half the class comes in the afternoon, to try to keep social distancing, I guess, going on in classrooms. So like every other desk is occupied, that kind of thing. But it looks like they're going to try to go mostly through the summer here, which is going to be brutal, because some of the older schools, I mean, some of these buildings are really old and they do not have any central air. So it's just basically electric fans, oscillating electric fans attached to the ceiling, and it gets brutally hot. The buildings are old, kind of cement building, so maybe a little bit cooler, and not so many windows. Not a crazy amount of windows, but it's still it's pretty bad. So the schools that were built kind of in the 60s here are not meant. Some of them have been retrofit, but not so many of the public schools. So some of them have air conditioning, but it's brutal, and that's why they. I think that's the only reason why they give the kids a summer vacation, is just because August and September are really miserable. I guess early September it starts to cool down, and September is also the typhoon season. So we're in the middle of the rainy season right now, and it looks like it's going to be the same thing as last year, where there's no rain. It'll come late, which means it pushes the typhoon season into October, and already it's looking strange as far as the things are off schedule already. I mean, it's just the first week of June, so it could kick in, but this is that time where you just have these torrential downpours where it'll be clear and then suddenly cloud up, and you'll get tons of rain in just a few hours. Then it calms down. But none of that yet, so I don't know. I don't know what that means. We had that last year, like very delayed, so. Yep. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm glad the camera and everything's looking okay. Yeah, I panicked because when I was getting this computer back up and running, I unattached everything USB, and so to just make sure nothing was conflicting during when it was booting up, and I forgot I unplugged the USB. So this tablet has, of course, a USB connection for the input and then video, and so the video was reconnected, but the USB wasn't. So when I turned it on and tried to do something with it, it didn't see it. The computer didn't see it at all. So I thought I had one of those update nightmares to deal with, but it was just that I forgot to reconnect the USB, thankfully. So it wasn't, oof, that's very awkward. So that was a good thing to not have to restart and update and uninstall, reinstall, because I'd already messed with this enough. It was just the USB, and it loaded really easily. And it's so nice. It's so nice to be back to this huge screen. I really forgot how nice that was, because I've been working on like a 13-inch, like 12 or 13-inch, so pretty small. And this is about 4 of those. Yeah, so it's nice. Much nicer. Yeah, so hopefully things will get back to this kind of, easy to do, easy to draw thing. Yeah, because I was getting kind of stuck, in that the streaming from home was going okay, but not the cartoons. I don't think were particularly good, or at least the drawing, especially on that Surface, that Microsoft Surface, was miserable because the stuttery input and everything. But it's a great tablet. It's great for taking notes. It's just not great for Photoshop. All right. Nice. Yeah, so back to a little bit of normal, which I really needed, I think. It's been bad. And this Thursday will be the first day of the normal schedule for my daughter's school. So she'll be back to normal, and she'll try to take the train. We'll see how crowded it is and everything. She'll try to take the train for the first time, because I've just been driving her this week and last week. And that's not fun. The traffic, I mean, it's really easy to have bad traffic here because everything's just, one lane each direction. So you get a bus or, truck or something, or like, construction or something. And it's impossible. Oh, and this is yeah, I'll spoil this from the convenience store. So Boss, the company that does all of the coffees, and I think I've talked a few times about, they did an energy drink just recently too, but now they're doing tea. I guess for the summer because maybe coffee doesn't sell as much. They have a few iced coffees, but now they're doing milk tea and jasmine tea, and now they're doing lemon tea. So I don't know how easy that is. Not easy to see on the screen, but yeah, a lemon tea, which is a good summer drink, but it's weird for a coffee company to suddenly, like, they're not changing their brand or anything. They're doing the guy with the pipe. I don't know if that's Stalin or that's supposed to be, maybe it's somebody recognizable, but they are doing all kinds of new tea flavors now. So maybe to compete with Lipton, because I think Lipton is the only other and that might be, Lipton might be Coca-Cola in Japan, but they're the only ones that do like apple tea and lemon tea and a bunch of different stuff. So maybe to kind of get that summer market. All right. Oh, but yeah, it feels good to not be, because I'm at home, I'm sitting on a sofa. Like I'm sitting on a small sofa in front of a table. So it doesn't, yeah, it's much more passive position. So this is nicer. And look, I'm actually drawing to scale because the whole image fits into my fits into my screen here. Yeah, it's just I don't have enough room for this giant tablet at home. It's too big. It's bigger than my monitor that I use. So yeah, I don't know what the best solution would be. But I think at home, I think the tablet I've got is going to be as good as it gets for now. So every week potentially could be a surprise, depending on the school schedule and everything. And I think everybody's kind of feeling that, how unnecessary it is to deal with a commute when, now that you're set up, if you're set up at home, you don't have to do that trip. You can save the money, save the time. But it does feel good to separate home from work, because I did, living in Los Angeles, like the last maybe 3 years that I lived in Los Angeles, I worked from home, and that gets weird because your work contaminates your home life and you want to always be working, and so you're not like participating very much in your home life. You're always distracted or thinking about something you should do or something you should finish before a certain time. So that's not good, to bring, to have that just like a door away, just to be able to retreat to that. And then when things are, boring or whatever, you always end up back working just to distract yourself. Yeah, so it's good. It's good to have this distance. So hopefully every Tuesday, I don't know what this is, but every Tuesday I'll be able to get to the office. Right. Yeah, I like this pen too. It's a lot thicker. I think it works on both this tablet and the one I have at home, but there's much more to grab, and it's an older version, but it's got that big fat rubber grip on it, so it doesn't it's not like a little thin pen or a brush. Doesn't have that same feeling. But I think they made it smaller because that other one is supposed to be portable. Oh, hey. Oh, haven't had any bicycles. Actually, yeah, the place where we live, because it's so mountainous, no, yeah, we don't have any bikes. You would probably need the little electric motor assisted bikes to even get up some of those hills. It's just like, or mountain, it's, pretty straight up and down. But yeah, no bicycles. Yeah, I don't think so. And I don't think my Japanese family, we only have my father-in-law bicycles to work. And I think that's the only bike that they have right now. Yeah, bicycles are a funny thing in all of Asia, but especially in Japan, because there's kind of a there's this weird black market of exporting bicycles to, like, you can cram a cargo container full of stolen bicycles and somehow be able to get them out of the country. So there was a famous story of somebody from a nice university here that had like very distinctive markings on his bicycle, and was watching some program about, Southeast Asia or whatever, and saw somebody riding his bicycle that had been stolen from him. So that kind of stuff just disappears. Yeah, there are pawn shops. The recycled shops, usually they don't do the kind of pawning system where you can get cash for something and then come and buy it back. At least that I know of. Because I think, there's mostly recycle shops, and they're kind of careful because they can't accept, like, they can't fence stolen goods. So pawn shops don't. They might exist. I don't know, not in any way that I've ever seen or ever used, and not as prevalent. There's not like check cashing places and payday advance stuff and trade in your jewelry kind of places in Japan like there are in the U.S. or in North America. But there definitely is a lively black market for stolen bicycles, because there's just piles of bicycles everywhere, and you'll see the like local police, or kind of probably like the equivalent of the meter maids or the parking. What is that? The people that write tickets. They just load up trucks full of bicycles that have just been left in places. And a lot of bicycles have baskets here because most people are using them for, buying groceries and things. So you'll have abandoned bicycles, and the basket just gets full of trash, because if there's not a trash can nearby, people just throw stuff away in the basket of the bicycle, assuming that person will have to deal with it or get in trouble. And so a lot of abandoned bicycles. So you'll see them just like harvesting bicycles to make room for, more bicycle parking. Yeah. Yeah. So it's very strange. And now there's much more of the kind of metered or paid parking. So you have these racks to park your bikes in. So they're trying to make it a little more organized, but people are just like throwing bicycles, everywhere. And maybe in Tokyo or some of the more tourist areas, they may have them, but those rental bikes, those Chinese rental bikes, haven't come to Japan. The ones that you just unlock with an app and then just abandon when you're done using them, those don't exist here. Or like city bikes, I think New York has like city bikes. They don't have those here. So it's a little, I think it was already the bicycle mess is bad enough. So people don't need that, or they don't want to encourage the tourists to to use them. You can, like, old school standard kind of rent bicycles and scooters, I think, too, in the tourist areas. But in the cities, I don't think they want to encourage more people to just be piling bicycles everywhere, because sometimes you'll come out of a shop and on the sides of the highway, like where they would, or by the sidewalk against the road where the trash would be or whatever, there's just, mounds of bicycles that people may or may not be using. But but I think there is some organized crime element that has a successful selling stolen bikes to foreign countries thing. I think they probably get caught every once in a while, but I'm sure that's a thing that is popularly crammed into cargo containers and shipped out of Japan. Because the bikes are really nice here. The quality, even of the cheap bicycles, is really good. So they, are desirable in foreign markets, because a lot of, especially, China and Southeast Asia have so many people on bicycles, because they just don't have enough cars. There aren't as many cars as there would be in other places. Draw this. But I don't like, that's the thing in Asia that's really annoying, is so many areas, there's no separation between people walking, bicycles, and cars. So there'll be these small streets everywhere where you've got people trying to ride a bicycle through crowds of people that are walking, and then cars behind them. So it's really a mess. Sometimes it's just It's really frustrating, and you really worry because there's some really old people on bicycles here. You're really worried about someone not being able to react fast enough to like a truck pulling out or whatever. And people do get killed on bicycles here because there's more bicycles more than in other countries, especially like the U.S. I'm sure there's much more people killed in cars in the U.S. But there'll be people that just. My sister-in-law had a coworker that just didn't show up to work one day and said, "Oh, she was killed on her bicycle by a truck." That was like, that's a relatively common accident style here. If you're an accident instead of a car accident, there's more often, and there's no drunk driving here because the penalties are so huge, and you'll actually be punished by not only the law, lose your ability to drive, but you will probably also lose your job and possibly like lose your pension, lose your retirement. There's a lot of steep. Oh, really? Oh, let's see. Oh, damn. Oh, I see, K5. Oh, that's cool. Oh, yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, there are, they're pretty affordable though. Bikes are pretty, especially used bikes, are pretty easy to get a hold of. Oh, that really sucks. Yeah, that's too bad. Trying to get his mom back to Japan. Oh, that's crazy. Well, yeah, hope he has luck doing that. That's really rough. Yeah, it's a good way because it's very bicycle friendly here. It's a good way to get around. But I just don't know why they have to have everything on top of each other. Why there's not areas for walking, areas for biking. It makes for a lot of confusion, and a lot of very stubborn old people will make it really hard for you. Either way. I see. Wow. All right. Maybe a knife. But yeah, so slowly back to normal. Although there's already been new clusters and things in Fukuoka, I think. They were one of the earlier ones to kind of try to reopen, and then immediately they had like 30 people infected. And literally, this area has had zero new infections for a few days. So people's good habits are, kind of very staying away from each other, and everyone's masked up, and everyone's constantly, using alcohol and washing their hands and everything. That's been keeping things much more under control. But we'll see, because like situations like schools and things, that's really hard to control, and kids are on top of each other. Although they're saying, kids aren't the ones, they may get the symptom-free version, but they're not the ones that are going to be in so much trouble. But who knows? Everything you hear changes. Everything that they've said keeps changing. Yeah, and the only part of this that I'm not looking forward to is kind of the political battle that's going to take place. This is going to be the beginning of a nice long Cold War, I'm sure, between the East and the West. And Japan kind of caught in the middle, because initially they were they issued a statement when China kind of declared martial law in Hong Kong, and then when the Western countries kind of got on board to complain or try to punish or threaten China for doing that, Japan said, no, we're not involved. We've already said all we're going to say, because trade-wise they are really caught between Asia and the West, so they have to be careful politically, even though like they're pretty much militarily they depend on the West. Trade-wise, they want to have their own relationship with China, so it's difficult. And I'm sure I will experience all of those difficulties. All right. So whoops. What's going on here? I guess I didn't fill that. There we go. Not a fan of that. Peanut butter. All right. So I'm trying to get everything into kind of proportion. Okay, I don't think we need any of this. Wow. Oh, yeah. Hey, Tub. Or Tube. Tub. Tube. Yeah. Nice to see you. Yeah. I think I remember. Yeah, the name looks familiar, but nice. Yeah, so where are you based? I saw that, yeah, just recently Japan had some Black Lives Matter protest, which is a little bit tricky. That's a tricky thing as a foreigner to do that in Japan, because Japan doesn't have the same kind of protections. And basically, I think your only protection as a foreigner is going to be on the grounds of your embassy. I don't think you have any kind of civil rights protection or anything. Slowly, they've been having kind of like there've been labor disputes, and kind of they've come up with some laws to help protect, not in a very strong way, but to help protect foreign workers. But for the most part, you don't really want to get involved in protests in Japan, because if you go on a list, then your life may suddenly be very impossible. Like everything is going to be difficult for you if the country, and I think you'll just disappear. I mean, I think you'll just be deported, because Japan they don't do anything transparently, and somebody will just show up at your house and say, okay, we're done with you, and they'll put you on a plane back to your home country. And from what I've heard, too, prison in Japan is a nightmare, because there aren't the prison staff is just allowed to abuse prisoners all they want. The only kind of weird protection they have is their names aren't released. So if you're a murderer or something, they'll protect your name and your identity to, I guess, help your family not be punished for it. But which is kind of weird. But as far as I just heard stories of like someone hit somebody with their car, and I'm not sure if they killed them or what happened, but it was like some strange kind of hit and run thing. And so they were arrested and just harassed, like not allowed to sleep, just had, lights and loud, noises and things, like kind of trying to wear them out mentally. So it became really exhausting to be in any kind of detention here. So I wouldn't encourage messing with it. Yeah, so I don't know. There are protests. There are a lot of political, small scale and peaceful protests in Japan. But as a foreigner, I wouldn't think anybody would want to get involved, because it endangers. I mean, if you're just here, for fun and games, then getting deported is not a big deal. But if you have family here, I don't think it's a great idea, because you will have no effect on anything. 100% guaranteed that it won't make any difference. And it'll just, make sure that you get looked at a little closer, which is not a good thing here. But yeah, I'm curious how things are going. The news, the news loved it when it was first out of control, but I haven't seen any headlines or anything more recently. There was the biggest headline in Japan recently was there was a kid that killed his family with a crossbow. I don't know why he had a crossbow. And like a lot of weapons, I guess the more martial weapons or, more like not firearms, they're not illegal, but, they're not, you can't walk around with a, sword or, a bow or an arrow or anything. But, so he just shot his parents and his brother to death with a crossbow. So another one of those like spectacular because of the mental illness, the untreated mental illness in Japan. Another one of those crazy and not pejoratively crazy, those shocking headlines because of the because of people. Oh, I don't want to. Why am I keep doing this? Because of people's untreated mental issues. If I want to crowd things together here, but some overlap might be good. Yeah, I don't know if this needs to be such a crowd. Well, I'll move on to the other one. Oh, Georgia. Okay. Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Nike store. That's funny. Yeah, what's that in New York? They have like Nike Town or something like that big 3-story. So they, we're talking about, I think there was like armed security there because they know that that's a huge target. Yeah. Really crazy. And a lot of, I don't know. It's a frustrating thing because I don't think I think the message is getting across, but I think it's just going to be, I don't know. I just worry that there's not going to be change connected to this, or this isn't going to even have a huge effect on the political process or during an election year, because it's just going to be another name added to a list of police brutality or police misconduct. There's the police murder, people killed by death by cop kind of thing. And now there's just a list, and it's like you don't just want to add another name to the list. You want one of those names to matter, and one of those people to not have died in vain. One of those people who, there's legislation or there's something that then has their name on it that brings about change. But I don't know. There's so many kind of bad actors involved in a lot of this because, so much money is being collected right now, and who and where and what's going on with those funds, and who is that actually supporting, and where is that going? But people are, very shocked and outraged, and there's, been a ton of support and a lot of corporations, releasing statements and things, and everybody, changing their logos or their whatever their avatars. But what does that really mean, and what does that really accomplish? Besides making guilty people feel better, but the money thing is what I worry about. Is people throwing a lot of money around, and the people that are collecting that, what exactly are they doing with that money? Hopefully they're organizing rallies and they're using it to fund something that's going to have some effect, and not just paying social media people or just lining their pockets with it. Why do I keep drawing bread? Yeah, it's crazy though. And the timing is so strange to have the pandemic, the people locked down and people in their houses, and then people out in the streets, protesting. It's a really weird thing to have happen, right? And maybe the two are related, people's frustration and not feeling like their government's telling them what to do, and then having this kind of news. Oh, and God, that was the most depressing thing I'd ever read too. That the autopsy of George Floyd revealed that he tested positive for corona, or for the bad weather. He tested positive for the virus. I mean, just God damn, of all the horrible combination of every shitty thing humanity can do to you, their bizarre virus experiments, and then killed by police. That sucks. So one way or another, the world was gonna have its way with him. That really, really sucks. But that was the most depressing thing that I read. I don't think I want to be doing this. Yeah, I really talk about all of the worst things that people are doing to each other, manifested on a single victim. Yeah, but it's tough. And I think as there is more and more negative image of the police, you're going to have fewer and fewer good people actually go into that job. And so then you're, going to pretty much have only people that shouldn't be doing that job in those positions, because nobody wants that job, just because of the stigma, the social stigma. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I started watching, I was just trying to find something that wasn't too long, that wasn't 6 seasons or whatever that I could get through. And I realized I'd never watched Band of Brothers, the Spielberg produced that DreamWorks series that they did. I think Tom Hanks was involved too. But after Saving Private Ryan. And I think the reason that I didn't watch it is because it just felt too much, or I thought it was just, Saving Private Ryan, the TV show, the TV series. But I finally got around to watching it, and it was really good because it was based on, I guess it's based on a book, but actually based on real people. So it wasn't just a bunch of, made up characters to kind of serve, to have types, to have all the types in there. It's actually based on real people, based on an account that was written. So it's the 101st Airborne, Easy Company of the 101st Airborne, and so specific people. And it's amazing how, of course, because of the deaths in the company, like combat deaths, killed in action, but then also how much faces change and everything. So over just 8 or 10 episodes, I think it's 8. Maybe 10. It's a mini series. 10 episodes. A lot of the faces change, and a lot of the people died based on how they actually died in the war. And so it doesn't have that kind of contrived thing where it's here's the he finds out his son was born, and then he's murdered, then he's killed in combat action. They don't have that kind of cheesy setup that they usually have. And because it's a series, not a movie, they can develop characters, and some of the major characters kind of get episodes or get focus a lot more in the episodes. So their deaths are much more meaningful because you knew more about them throughout the progress of the show. But yeah, it's really good. The really high production quality and stuff. I don't know. I guess I just never watched it because it just, after Private Ryan, I don't want to watch more of that, because even though they did a nice job authentically reproducing D-Day and some of the feeling of war and the sound of it and everything, what they did with the characters, it's kind of that I think Steven Spielberg is a big George Capra fan, so it's real manipulative, and I don't like feeling that stuff that Spielberg movies do. And when you watch some of the older stuff, like you watch E.T. or his like 80s stuff, you really feel that very naked apparent manipulation, like how the music works and how some of the shots work and stuff is just very okay. It's a little too much. I think things have become more subtle, and kind of emotion and things in film has gotten a lot better. And so that kind of naked manipulation that Spielberg does is not fun to watch so much. So it kind of that's why I never watched the show. But it's not like that. It's not written in that same way because it has more of it's more grounded in real events. So they can't play stuff up for dramatic value. It's not so melodramatic. And so this is the time when you cry, and this is the time when you're scared, or whatever. It doesn't have that experience. And because maybe a series too, it's hard to maintain that. But yeah, it's good. And it goes it goes all the way from their training all the way to the the fall of Berlin. So they go through, I guess it's like 43 to 45. Basically, it follows them through like major battles, like Battle of the Bulge, and a lot of like major events that company was part of. So D-Day all the way to the fall of Berlin. So it's a lot to cover, and I guess it works. Yeah, that works pretty perfectly. But yeah, so it's pretty good, and a lot of like recognizable, very young, recognizable actors, people that are doing a lot of stuff now. Like Tom Hanks's son is in it, and he's like been doing a lot more. He was in Fargo and things, like he's been doing a lot more since then. So a lot of people that have had much bigger careers after this, but they're all very pink-cheeked and young-looking in the series. Oh, and there's a weird cameo for some reason by Jimmy Fallon. Like Jimmy Fallon just pulls up in a Jeep and delivers a message. It's like he is way too recognizable, from Saturday Night Live, to like just throw him in a TV show and not have it be really distracting. But he was there. And what's his face? I'm not going to think of the actor's name, but Ross from Friends, whatever that guy's name is, David something Schwimmer. David Schwimmer, maybe. Yeah, so he's in the first couple of episodes. His character kind of gets disappears a little quickly, but yeah, he's a little bit too recognizable too. But he did okay, like playing a different type of character, so you didn't he didn't feel like a Friends cast member in the 40s, but just a little too recognizable, maybe. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I think that's a huge problem, because I mean, you can do so much good, especially if you're a reasonable person that is not doing it because you felt powerless, like you finally want some sort of power. And if you want to do good, like all of those, doctor, nurse, police officer, firefighter, those public service jobs, or those jobs where you're actually like directly helping people, are such good things to pursue. But yeah, I think feeling that stigma, and also just I don't know, and depending on like what types of areas you're going to work in, you don't want to. It makes getting married difficult, because there's not some women just cannot handle the fact that maybe someday you won't come back, you won't come home from your job. Yeah, those sorts of things make it stressful. But yeah, that really sucks about. There shouldn't be a stigma for wanting to be a police officer, and there also should be some way that you can actually maintain your good intentions, that system is not going to corrupt you, and you're not going to kind of be forced to take payoffs and things, or risk your life, or just not be backed up by your by the other cops around you because you're not on the take. You're not, you're a risk to them. And also just paying. I mean, that's the argument with so many professions, teachers and everything, but just paying cops better would take away the temptation of taking money, because a lot of police officers, it's really common that they do like construction jobs and stuff like part-time on the weekends just to make enough money to have a family. I mean, they've got good pensions, but you got to survive. You gotta get old to get that. You got to retire basically to get the pension. And if you're working in a dangerous area, that's less easy. But yeah, that's difficult. Yeah. That's really frustrating when you feel, when there's a profession that you feel drawn to, and then kind of, social stigma or thinking about what that's going to mean, how people are going to react to that. That really sucks. That's a thing, and it's just gonna be worse. Yeah, I don't know, and I don't like how we're starting to be affected by these narratives that people want to, believe or want to come up with. And the reality of, if you're in that situation or you meet those people or you live in that neighborhood, that's not true. But there are these, very attractive stories that people want to tell. Basically, the news want to tell, that makes exciting, interesting, or just, fits your kind of social guilt. That you want to believe. I just can't believe, like talking to my mother, I can't believe how many of those things she falls for just because she has no experience of something, and that sounds right, and so she'll just believe all of these stories because it kind of fits. Like, if you want your life to be like TV or movies, that's if that's the bad guy, then this makes sense. And so she falls for a lot of that stuff, which I think is all that's happening to old people now. Like, there's like one cable news channel, usually Fox News, just like running constantly in retirement homes, and old people just following that narrative completely, just believing everything that they're told because that channel is always on. And so lots of people have that have that situation. So sorry to hear that about your career. That's not it's not a good thing to feel. Yeah, but there's other things too. Like if there are other kind of things that have a similar effect, like being an EMT or other things where you are dealing with people that are having, they're experiencing the worst things that society can give you, and you're actually able to help. You're actually like on the ground helping much more immediately than a lot of other jobs or a lot of other situations that have less stigma. But it's so frustrating that has to even be a thing. But I suppose, like, I don't know. After this recent round of protests, though, I have a feeling the enrollment at police academies is going to get a lot less. Yeah, it's really crazy. And also the what was that? Somebody was asking Marvel, which is, I guess, DC, or I'm not DC, which is Disney, Marvel Comics, that has the Punisher character, which is a popular, like his logo and things are popular with police officers because of the kind of vigilante, his perspective, or his view, his hard view on criminals and criminal justice. And that people were requesting that Disney sue police departments for using the Punisher logo, because that's appropriation of that character, and just it's ridiculous how people are thinking now. Why am I? This is all breakfast looking. Yeah. Oh well. I guess I haven't had a good breakfast in a while. Oh. Yeah, it's really crazy. But in this little corner of the world, it might be, we may be getting back to a little bit of normal. But if the world economy is going to be in the trash, I don't know. It's going to make it really hard, because Japan is already in, not recession, but what do they call it? Just stagnation. It's just like there's no growth in Japan at all. It's very, very flatline, the economy, because they've lost control of so many industries that they used to. And things changed too, because I don't think Japan really understood or got on top of a lot of digital technologies. I mean, Sony could have had the digital music thing totally under control, and they lost it completely. So there's a lot of companies that have failed. I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's see. Hey. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, they've already shown how edited some things are. They'll take someone's response and they'll cut off. They'll say, I think this is really horrible, but and they'll have some follow up that puts it into context, and they'll just cut. Oh, you just said this is bad. You just said this is a. They'll put opinions in people's mouths just by cutting out their complete thoughts, and it's really too bad. But I'm trying to definitely get back to normal life. I was really getting depressed and kind of disoriented during the staying at home kind of thing, and so hopefully trying to get back to things feeling a little bit better. But I don't know, I mean, if it doesn't, the whole world has to kind of recover, and we're just going to recover to then start continue the trade war with China. I don't know. It'll be funny to see how things divide, as they always do. You have this weird, what seems like Australia's got a lot of, China's got a lot of control, or a lot of power in Australia. Economically, they're partnering with a lot of things, and always Russia and France, just to be difficult, support really stupid things that China does. So we'll have a bunch of that coming up. But who knows? And that's weird. They haven't talked much about how the bad weather's been going in Russia. There haven't been a lot of. They got listed. Some list that I saw said that the death and infection of the weather was pretty bad in Russia, but we haven't heard much about it in the news. I don't know if they're trying to control the information, just because they have to protect, not quite as bad as China or North Korea, but they have to protect the government's competency. Things can't get out of control, because that makes the leadership look responsible for it. So they may be protecting the numbers and the situation a little bit better. These boxes are really thick. All right. But yeah, I hope people are starting to feel a little bit more normal, and that things, calm down. I don't know, but it's it's just frustrating that we're just gonna. There was such a huge reaction and such a public outcry to the George Floyd murder by the police officer, but it may not end up creating anything of consequence. It may just be he's going to be in the middle of this list of names because things just don't have as much don't have the kind of effect that they should. I don't know. It's hard to know. I'm just very suspicious of a lot of the forces at work because it's a good grift. It's a good manipulation. I mean, you can kind of threaten companies to support, financially support causes just because it makes them look bad if they don't. And let's see what kind of crazy it is. Oh, there we go. And I just don't like that. Not really knowing who's supporting what or what things are doing. That kind of happened after the Fukushima disaster in Japan. There suddenly all these charities came out of nowhere, and there were little boxes to support, relief in Japan. But you had no idea if anything was legitimate, and the government, is definitely wealthy enough in Japan that they can handle funding all of that themselves. So I was, a little bit suspicious about where where all that was going, because there are a lot of really opportunistic, people out there that charities, set up a nonprofit and then you don't pay taxes and then you just have to chase every cause that would get people to open up their pockets. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know how this cereal and bread are working, so maybe I should... Yeah, maybe this can go over there. Wait, did it make it? Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, because this doesn't make a lot of sense. I guess it's breakfasty a bit. Yeah, we'll just kind of limit it to the... That's supposed to be a Pop-Tart. I don't know if I'll have to name it or have to call it a toaster pastry or something in the joke, or else I don't think it's going to read that well. Alright. Yeah, what is this, like, breakfast thing? Yeah, but I hope people are starting to see the end, kind of the light at the end of the tunnel during all of this, because it's been too long that things have been not normal. So I hope everybody is getting some hope back. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if I need that jar as background. What else did I draw here? Yeah, I don't think I need any of those. Oh yeah, I should. I'll do the icing though. I think the thick. I'll do the icing and the little dots and stuff. Just in the coloring, because I think sometimes the black, if I do some of those details in black, it ends up being too heavy. It looks really heavy and doesn't read as well. So, oh, there it is. So I'll do a little bit of icing in the coloring, and hopefully that'll make it read more. You got to be careful sometimes. I don't know if you know if Pop-Tarts are still a thing. It's been so long since I've seen a American grocery store. It could be gone. I'll be making very dated references. There we go. Okay, so maybe the bread needs to be bigger because that is giant butter then. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think come into this stream with a little bit, with some ideas, or like some pre-existing ideas. I'm not coming up with funny combinations or interesting combinations, just drawing, I think. And when I look back at other stuff, it seems to be a lot tighter. Like the idea and the drawing seems to be a lot tighter. And I think recently I haven't been doing that as well. I don't know. Maybe I can get there. All right. Yeah, we'll go that way. So let me just double check everything's running smoothly. The sound is okay and everything. Yeah, because everything was kind of left as it was months ago. So I hope it's getting back to normal. Yeah, right. Legit Pop-Tarts are rare because, yeah, they do have the store brand everything now. Yeah, I like even the store brand cereals that are just in plastic bags, and they're just directly, I mean, it looks like they came off the same line in most cases, but like the Fruit Loops and the Corn Flakes and everything, that's just like, yeah, buyer's choice or whatever. They always have those great names. Each store chain has their own, like, yeah, family value, or yeah, select, always, yeah, something select. So you feel like you're making a good choice. Yeah, they don't do that here. I guess because they love their characters and their branding and everything. I guess there is a store brand, but more for like household goods and stuff. There's like small appliances and things. There's a generic store brand, but as far as yeah, you don't see it as much. It's not as prevalent here. I think because the companies are so competitive that they probably, if you did a store brand, it wouldn't be that much cheaper. So there's less incentive. Like you couldn't say, why are you paying for this character in this packaging when you can get it for this price? Because the brands are competitive enough that it's not expensive. And the difference would be so small that you would want the legitimacy of a company name with a cute mascot, because yeah, everything here has a cute mascot. Oh yeah, which we'll talk about. Actually, I'll drag over some images so you know what I'm talking about when we do the convenience store thing. Oh yeah, how do I do that? Oh, I guess I'll do it in Photoshop afterwards. All right. Okay, so yeah, I guess that works. So let's color some of this and see how it goes. Yeah, but you really feel that in the US, the price difference between like the, generic store brand compared to the other brands is the brand names is huge. It's surprisingly big, and I think I'm thinking like especially like cold medicine and stuff. Like whenever I want to get like ibuprofen or something simple from like one of the big, Walmart or Target or whatever. Yeah, if they have that store brand, it's always much cheaper because you're paying for whatever. Yeah, whatever difference. And if it's the exact same, if it's like just a generic version, it's really tempting to not. I don't know. We've got the uncooked Pop-Tart color. Something like that. Let's see how that looks. Oh, it looks terrible. There we go. That's a little dark. I think it's brighter because it is kind of uncooked, lightly baked, something like that. All right, and then we'll do the bread a little differently. All right. Yeah, I'm always surprised though because it's so many years. I'll go back and have some kind of snack, American snack food that they don't have here. So when I visit family or whatever, and I'm always so surprised how like the size of everything is getting so small, and then like the count of something in a bag is getting so much less, and it's the same price, and then there's just less and less and less inside. It's amazing how that just keeps happening. Yeah, just everything. And maybe it's just my memory though is off, is a little distorted, but everything seems so small now. And less maybe some blue lettering. Yeah, just less and less for the same price. And they do that here a little bit too. They always they individually wrap a lot of things. There's like individual packaging, and so often they'll just like connect, or they'll include fewer and fewer packages of the things, or they'll take one out. Like it used to be a pack of 5, now it's a pack of 4, and then there's one less. So they're doing that a little bit here as well. All right, let's do some frosting. I guess I can just go bright white. Yeah, and I won't follow the line, so maybe I can make it look like it's sitting on top a little bit. I'm just thinking of, what is it, strawberry? Has those little weird sprinkles. They're probably smaller than that. But this is my store brand version. All right. Something like that. There we go. That's what I remember a strawberry Pop-Tart looking like. I guess there is no room to put the little divots. Oh, and I want to fix this as well. That's not a great drawing of a bread bag. It'll work though. All right. Yeah, we still don't know yeah, what things are going to look like on the other side of this. But the sad thing will be if nothing changes, if everything is exactly the same and things that were broken and caused problems, we'll just do it again next time. That will be the really depressing thing, like, you know, 0 lessons learned kind of thing. But I still don't think we have a very good hold on what even happened. I don't think it's going to be a while. And they're even talking about, you know, it's next year before there's any kind of vaccine. And there's so many different types of this, like SARS derivative virus, that it can become just like the flu virus, where you can protect for specifically this, but this may not ever happen again, or, you know, it will not be the most dangerous thing that happens in flu season. So you'll be protecting yourself from something, and then there'll be something worse that you're not protected from. So I can't wait for us to find out how much we don't know about all of that. Maybe. Oh, wow. Yeah. Here. There we go. That's a little more readable. All right. Yeah, I think that reads okay. Don't they have like a seam? You can kind of see where they're pressed together. Oh well, just do like that. There we go. Wow, computer's a lot slower than the one at home, but the tablet is so much nicer. Yeah, but at the same time, I'm like complaining about things getting better or learning anything. I was really hoping that with such a big change, I would kind of have better ideas of priorities, like what I wanted to do and what I wanted to work on the other side of this. And I don't think I've really figured anything new out or been resolved that, you know, this is a waste of time. I should stop doing this and I should focus on this. I mean, I don't think I figured anything out during that time. It's just months of wasted time, not figuring anything out. So that's frustrating. All right, maybe a little bit on the red to make it more plastic looking. There we go. All right. Wow. That's much easier and nicer to yeah, it's much nicer to draw this way. It's been too long. Yeah, because I think part of the problem is people are just going to be so happy to go back to 50% normal will be such a happy thing. Like, wow, we can go to a restaurant and I can see a movie. That they'll just be so grateful for that they'll forget about, you know, why this happened, or, you know, what we went through, or if it even should have happened. So it's weird. We're in a weird box. A bit later. Maybe I'll do both. All right. More bread color. Oh, I don't want this to be too yellow. Oops. Yeah, really didn't realize how bad the humidity gets. Like you can't like I had a jar of like instant coffee. It's just like fused. It just got wet enough, humid enough in here that everything just fused together. So got to be careful with that stuff in Japan. And as it's getting to the more and more humid season, it's just amazing. Yeah, that was the one thing you can't do is leave things alone for too long here. All right, and maybe butter needs a bright this. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen with movies. I'm so curious because they already said that they're going to cancel the Academy Awards this, I guess it's what, January or February for next year because things haven't been released, but they are going to change the rules or let things be considered that didn't have a theatrical release because there's so few theatrical releases. It's funny. But with AMC probably going out of business because it's all Chinese funded and they changed the rules, the government changed the rules about how you can get money, Chinese money into the US. So the owner or the company, the Chinese company that owns AMC could have just continued to run it at a loss and just padded it out with Chinese investment. But since they blocked that, it looks like AMC is in trouble, which is a shame. That they had the nicest theaters in Los Angeles, the biggest, kind of stadium seats, and I think the a lot of the IMAX and stuff was AMC. The easy to get to, least crowded. But that's all over. Yeah, I'm curious if people will be happy to. Oh, what? There's not. So there. It's not pre-sliced. I don't know why I'm drawing slices in this bread because it hasn't been cut yet. It'll be interesting to see if people are happy to be back together again, or if they'll just have the same kind of negative reaction, and things will continue to home theaters and things will continue to be more popular because people don't want to deal with each other out in public. There we go. I can't fit eyes here. Oh, almost. Yeah, I guess I can. So they just get their faces cut off repeatedly. I don't know what's going on there. Okay. Oh yeah, that was really different. Yeah, it was amazing to see people doing that and streaming too. Like we've gotten different kinds of access to to people doing things, and like a lot of my things that I would only listen to as podcasts, I've watched as Zoom, like YouTube videos that are just recorded Zoom, video conferences or whatever. So getting to see people in their apartments and things, or at their parents' house or whatever, getting to see them. Sorry. Sorry. In that different context was really fun to, kind of see how they really lived, and if they were actually funny, if they could actually still be funny in the midst of all of this, was interesting. But yeah, it sounds like though some of the New York comedians and stuff that I was listening to, a lot of them seem like, okay, there's no reason, especially if there's no place to perform, there's no reason to be in New York. So, just get outside and drive in to do things. Because if they can all do their podcasts, which a lot of them, that's what they're making their main income from. If they can just do their podcasts with their Patreons from anywhere, then why do they need to, pay New York City rent? So that might be an interesting change. All right. Those are really shiny sprinkles, but I guess they won't read so bad. All right. So there's some coloring. Yeah, and it's funny to see, like, when people are just performing in front of a webcam, like, you see the talented people from the marginally talented people, the people that need a lot of things fixed in post, where they're where auto-tune is helping them out too much, or they can't actually play the instruments that they need to play. But yeah, it's amazing to see, actual talent with that kind of lower production value. I always like seeing that, because you understand that, that's why they're famous, because they actually have talent. All right. Okay. So let's do, I guess we can do comments now, if I can find where that is. Oh, that's right. But I still haven't figured out the way to switch this very gracefully, but we'll try it. All right, so here's this and comments. There we go. Okay, so we'll just take a quick look. Am I still? There we go. Yeah, my microphone's still there. Take a quick look at the cartoons from last week. Oh yeah, much nicer though. The drawing on that other tablet looks nicer. It doesn't feel as nice. It doesn't feel as nice as this one to do because it's small. But yeah, great. All right, a comment. 11 likes and 2 pins. There we go. So Ed says, I seldom use a spoon for salt unless I'm baking. That's true. Why is there a salt? I just was having it. I guess they weren't really taking sides with salt or sugar, but it was just spoon. It was just opposing spoons. But that's very true. Salt and spoons don't. Yeah, I guess that could have been more the point of the joke. Come on. Yeah. GoComics must be a busy site, or they just have terrible bandwidth because they move slow. Okay, so this was the June 2nd. 1 comment, 8 likes, 2 pins, so very similar. Oh, sorry. The book envied the memo pad for his yet-to-be-written future. Podog says, the book then smirked because he knew his thoughts were organized. There you go. Nice. Nice. Oh yeah, we did these guys already. Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's right. Those are the cartoons that went up a week late almost. So very confusing. So let's try some random cartoons and comments. While we wait. Yeah, there's a lot. I think their ad servers and stuff too aren't the fastest because it's calling to a bunch of different places to load this page. And there's kind of ads everywhere. I don't know. Those are their own ads, though. Weird. Come on. How about a random cartoon? There we go. So 2004. Look at that. Wonderful drawing style. 2004, December 1st. 4 likes and a pin. No insults. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not reading these. Is the random still going to be there? Yeah, there we go. The plastic pail and shovel felt it was best to be professional and never speak of that crazy night again. Okay. That's one of those, yeah, super random random jokes where I just like, yeah, let it be all imagination. Deodorant seemed to only cover their problems up. Nothing. I think it needs to have that word order fixed a little bit. All right, 2019. For antisocial people, the smartphone was still an amazing digital alarm clock. Yeah, I think I've actually read this one on stream too. It's 2019. If I had one, that's exactly what I'd use it for. I like that I can set multiple reminders when to take medicine on a set schedule. Oh, that's so depressing. I would never take things on time otherwise. I'll use Timely on my Android phone for the bedside clock. Antisocial, you bet your sweet bippy I'm also Uncle Social. Antisocial, haha. That's funny. Yeah, this site, I mean, I think it's got a lot of like newspaper comics fans that are okay with reading things digitally and just want access to everything because like your local newspaper is very selective and they just kind of rerun Peanuts and Far Side or whatever. So people have gone to this, so they're older but not quite too old. So I guess it's like baby boomers. So I always have to be careful. My cartoons need to make some sense to baby boomers or it's not going to get many views. This is another recent one. Yes, it's just 2020. Let's try to go back. Oh, there we go. 2006. There's a real simple one. Leftover carryout began leaking exotic sauces and feared he would never see the refrigerator. It was totally ignored. Oh, there we go. So this is a, what's this from 2014? So I did a cartoon of these two kinds of, or these drinks with umbrellas. That was actually a coffee cup and the coffee cup with an umbrella and then like a mixed drink with an umbrella. And yeah, decided to finally draw that again, but it's just two drinks. They abandoned global warming for the more accurate theory of global combustion. Those high alcoholic drinks will do that. There's Katina Cooper, who I wonder if still reads this. All right. Well, that is all. I won't torture you with any more of this. Yeah, there are mean comments in there, and I'm still looking for them. Someday I can enjoy the meanness of that. So let's switch back to the drawing and do a little bit of writing. I even forget which order I did things. I guess I drew things, comments, and then colored them. I don't remember. But we'll do some convenience store. I got a little bit of stuff from the convenience store. Just before they were nice. Yeah. That random button's fun because it just, takes you to a random date. All right. Yeah, who was that? That was Plexus that had the 2000 birthday, the year 2000 birth year. So that's funny. Just 2000 and whatever is your age. That's pretty funny. All right. Okay, so let me write these and I'm gonna do a little convenience store stuff. So Pop-Tart versus bread. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I want to call it a Pop-Tart because then I'll need to put a trademark or a registered trademark. That's funny because there are some things like Xerox or some brand names that just become almost the I forget what the term for that is, but a brand name that's become so ubiquitous that people think of it as that way, as that, like Uber. You know, there are other companies, but everyone calls it an Uber. But yeah, like Kleenex too. Yeah, like that's the other one I was thinking of. So Xerox and Kleenex are almost like they don't even own their trademarks anymore because everyone calls it that. And I guess that means that their product had some success, but at the same time, that might also hurt the value of their trademark, because then anybody can make, oh, you make Kleenex? Well, yeah, it's facial tissue, but you can call it Kleenex. I'm going to do an edge on that bread. Sorry. Procrastinating. There we go. Yeah, Band-Aid. Yeah. Hey, Sedona. Yeah, Band-Aids are another thing. I wonder, like, legally what happens if people are abusing your trademark so much that I wonder if you can even defend them anymore, if somebody can just say, I make this brand Band-Aids. Yeah, I wonder if that's a powerful thing or a annoying thing for those holders. Oh, I don't know why I'm zooming in to write these. Don't need to see the text any bigger. All right, so let's see. So once out of the toaster, or something about after the toaster, their differences really showed, or the toaster pastry really. Let's see. The limited amount of fun. Something about sprinkles. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, toast never never quite figured out the sprinkles thing. Yeah, because that is pretty dominant, or noticeable in the cartoon. Yeah, the sprinkles as an unfair advantage. Yeah, what was let's see. I'm always doing this on like super low blood sugar, so my thinking is not as great. Yeah. Yeah, I like the sprinkles angle. That's very good. Bread. I've got a full keyboard here and I still can't type. This is getting wordy already. Even after the toaster, nah. Sprinkles. Sprinkles gave him a distinct advantage. No matter what the toast used, had on top was, what do you do with toast? Put on toast. No matter what was put on toast, it would never rival sprinkles. It would never compete with sprinkles. Never compare. It could never compare to just a little too long. Pre-existing sprinkles. That's a hyphenated word. Yeah. It could never compare to pre-existing sprinkles. Oh, come on. No matter what was put on toast, it could never compare to pre-existing sprinkles. I like pre-existing sprinkles as a stupid phrase. A pre-existing condition, like sprinkles. All right. Yeah, something something like that. Ah, pale in comparison. Oh, good. Yeah. The toast, yeah, paled in comparison to. Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool. Why do you know so much about trademark law? Are you a patent attorney or a trademark attorney? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. That totally makes sense, though. Yeah, aspirin, escalator, flip phone. Yeah, that has to be a weird danger to be too successful a brand. Yeah, aspirin. Ah, yeah. I guess that's true. That's not a chemical name. And escalator. Wow. You don't want to be too good. You want to be that sweet spot of successful, but not so dominant that people, yeah, completely. Genericide. What? How do you know? That's really cool. That would be something really fun to read about. Genericide. When a brand legally loses, yeah. Yeah, that's funny, and that has to just be a judge decides that, a court just decides that. That's crazy. Oh, right. Google. Nice. Yeah, that's very cool. That's definitely, I guess it was just a Google away. As is everything. That's crazy. So everything that I've forgotten, all the things that I used to have in my head, I can Google and recover all of that nonsense, all of those facts and dates. That's funny. Yeah, that's really that's a funny thing. That's that weird thing that's why drug companies are such a nightmare, because they are always making the next version. They'll do like whatever their brand name is, and then they'll release the EX version or whatever, some slight modification, because then it prolongs them having to surrender it to generic, to releasing the formula so it can be produced generically. So you always have those. Is this different? Well, it is chemically different, but it who knows what effect it's going to have, and they just keep cranking out all of the slight variations on whatever it is they're trying to protect. Okay, no matter what's put on toast, it could never compare to pre-existing sprinkles. I like paled in comparison, though. All right, now this is the one that I have no idea. I was thinking about, so that it was relying on the knife. Oh yeah, that's right. That right before I read as I finished, I was thinking about their faces cut out. And it's funny because I was just watching like a commentary, like a Mystery Science Theater, people doing a commentary on Face Off, on the Nick Cage John Travolta movie. So if I make a Face Off joke, that's pretty appropriate. That's such a stupid idea for a movie. It's just funny that something like that exists. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, yeah, so at what point at what point would they stop enjoying having their faces cut off? At what point it wasn't, they weren't certain if there would be equal amounts. I think something face cutting without being too gross or graphic might be fun. Yeah, I like that when they have to use a generic term. Like it'd be so easy to say Kleenex or Band-Aids, and instead they have to say, whatever fabric bandages or they have to elaborate. Kind of like there's so many things in Japan where it doesn't translate well. Like there's not like it's an odd type of food or whatever. So the description of it in English is ridiculous. And so if you use like some kind of electronic translator, it's translating things into like rice balls and fermented bean cake and things. Where if you just use the Japanese and you know what it is, then it's fine. And that's why I think that's why we use tofu and things in English, because it once you know what it is, then that's the name of it, instead of describing it in a more generic, weird way. Hey Chris, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Nice. So we're just writing the cartoons here. So this is, if you haven't been here before, this is the weekly single panel gag cartoon that I do for GoComics.com. And I've been doing this for way too many years, but just the past 2 years I've been doing a live stream of actually creating it, and it's been a lot more fun. It feels less lonely and isolated because it's interesting to have kind of a live reaction to my odd jokes or the odd situations. But yeah, it's fun to do. Yeah, much more fun. I think it's like kind of reignited my wanting to keep going, because it's really funny. I think Hyphonics found me, like I had done a year of streaming, and then Hyphonics like hosted the stream, or recommended, like sent some of the viewers over. And so when I was sick over the 2019 kind of holiday season, I was like, I don't think I'm going to stream anymore. There's no point. And so I think with half of December and January, or maybe a couple of weeks in December, I was just not doing anything. And then I saw all the views on the archives were going up. And then all of that kicked in, where I realized there were a bunch of new viewers, and then I got raided. Like then when I did the very first stream in January, then I got raided by you guys coming from it's getting yeah, I got a haircut, and so now the beard looks even more out of control than it did. It looked better when my hair was longer. It didn't look as out of control. But yeah, I gotta figure out how to balance these two things so it doesn't look so crazy. But at least it's not. It's gotten better. I guess when it gets longer and isn't growing out this way, I don't have that big giant chipmunk face as much. So yeah, it gets to this point where it gets like to be a nice length, and then it lays flatter, and depending on like how you deal with it. But yeah, it used to be that it just felt like it would just go straight out, and so I'd have to keep it short just so I didn't have this giant face. Oh no, really totally moved to Texas, or just for the bad weather, or is this like a full time? So from Florida, because you used to be in Florida, right? And so now totally Texas. Wow. That might be, I don't know though. It might be, I guess, depending on the area and stuff, that you could, like, I know you can get in certain areas like big houses and a lot of land and stuff in Texas for a lot less than you can in other areas. That's why a lot of tech companies and stuff moved to like Houston or Dallas or whatever. Like, they became like little centers for tech companies, because office space and everything's so much more affordable. You're right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's so funny too, now that Jack Black is streaming so much more often. Like when he was doing Jumanji 4 or whatever, like he had a big beard and it was all gray, and his hair was all grown out. And then when he was doing the movie, they colored his beard and trimmed it, and like he looked totally different. So you see how much they have to like physically change and then maintain that for certain roles, and like physically too. I mean, I'm not necessarily him, but I think like a lot of the actors that are gonna be shirtless or have to look like superheroes. They have to do crazy conditioning. And then when they're off, like what was that? Ben Affleck, when they had to come back and do reshoots for Justice League, he had obviously like gone back to his whiskey drinking or whatever, because his face was very different than when he was in the original Batman condition. So that has to suck, because you just want to relax when you're done shooting something and go back to eating expensive food with all that money that they paid you, and then you look like shit if they bring you back for reshoots. But that was it was really obvious like what was reshot and what wasn't, because Bruce Wayne's face was very bloated and pink compared to how it was in other shots. Oh, and then Justice League was such a mess too, because then Superman, I'm totally blanking on his name, but he had a mustache for the Mission Impossible movies, and they did that horrible jelly lip CG to cover it up. That's crazy. Okay. All right. So something about faces or something. Yeah, I really want that. Yeah, I'm not going to mention breakfast again. I think I did too much breakfast already. Uh-oh. Thanks for the heads up. Yeah. And, that's all right. I forgot to check if I can turn that down, if I can tell YouTube to relax a little bit with the filter. Thanks for the heads up. Let me load this. Sorry, this computer's kind of crawling a little bit right now. Let's see. Oh yeah, better internet. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Texas definitely would have. Oh yeah, damn. Sorry. Things are getting all kinds of. There we go. There we go. Oh, yeah, eye for an eye. That's good. Damn. I wish I could get this this combined stream to tell me. Yeah, that's weird, because you like censored yourself, like you maybe it doesn't even like the the censored F word. Yeah. Or you just can't mention the parent company of YouTube or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, it's so random. Well, yeah, just like it was like censoring Chinese characters, like Chinese insults to the Communist Party, like mysteriously, and that was a tech or some Chinese programmer that was in there that just kind of like, yeah, I'm not going to let that happen, and YouTube had no idea. Yeah, it's weird. That shouldn't have been censored at all. Strange. All right. So what are we saying here? Yeah, something I like the the violently cut off faces. So was it a new face, the same face? They were surprised they... yeah, so now I have to be careful, because I don't want to make some weird new rule about this cartoon, like what it means if there are eyes on something. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, or something about the it was youthful or rejuvenating to periodically have your face cut off. Yeah, so it should. How long will that last? Let's see. Rejuvenating and yeah, that's not going to make any sense. For buttered bread, they would. Yeah, either the time or like, the limited number of times you could do that. Double edge, that's good. Yeah, double edge the yeah, right. Yeah, that might be good to have some gory butter effect. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, maybe more about the knife, although the composition isn't very focused on the knife. You don't look at it until later. I think you look at the butter and the bread first, but it may work. I like the the double-edged idea. Yeah. Getting a new face, yeah. Yeah, layers. Yeah, right. The layers of. Yeah, the knife kept revealing new something, but for how long? For a limited time, they could enjoy their new. Oh yeah, because it would just be cut again, so they couldn't get used to. They couldn't enjoy the double edge. The double edge of the bread knife was that they couldn't enjoy their new faces for long. Layers. Yeah, that's the one thing. What was it? My daughter was watching the first Shrek movie on something, whatever streaming has that, and I'm surprised that CG is getting pretty dated looking. Yeah, it has a. It's starting to look pretty primitive. I mean, I guess it was a while ago, but yeah, those Shrek movies are not aging well. But I think it's going to be true of a lot of stuff. yeah, the textures and things look kind of realistic, but some of the, or like, like fabric and water and stuff are okay, but yeah, some of the weird skin textures and stuff are a little odd, and the character designs are pretty funky too. All right. They would enjoy, yeah, they could enjoy their new faces, but who knows how long. The knife, under the knife, going under the knife. Having work done, like plastic surgery work done. Yeah, I have to get the new face idea across first. They would enjoy this new face only until someone wanted more buttered bread. Let's see. Yeah, the double-edged bread knife, the double edge of the bread knife. It doesn't have a double edge, but it gave them they always saw something with a fresh face. They wondered why every slice still had eyes. Yeah. They were constant witnesses to their their old faces. Endless slicing. Yeah, let me try, since I'm not on to anything yet, let me try a little bit of butter color. Oh, shit, sorry. Check how my phone is doing. Sorry. Okay. Rejuvenating. No, I don't think I want to. How many? Bread butt. The butt of bread. Slices. Yeah, just they measured, their existence was measured in slices. There were slices of Why is this file so big? Let me get rid of some of these layers. Oh, that's why, because I've got like 100 layers of stuff I'm not using. Let's try that. There we go. Yeah, it was like using a gigabyte of raw space. I should do that with this one too. Not going to go back and use any of that. All right, sorry, little housekeeping. The this slice, they couldn't face each other until they decided not to deal with this until the next slice. That's right. I was going to butter that knife. Let's just try that quick. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a bit more sinister. I like that. There we go. Renewable resource of buttered bread. Each slice they realized they were looking a little different. They felt a little shorter. Each slice reminded them of the finite nature of existence. Is that too long? Each slice reminded them of the finite nature of... It doesn't have a very good rhythm to it. But it's very existential. Existential bread jokes. Each slice reminded them of the finite nature of existence. Yes. The buttered edge. Yeah, because they're kind of looking at the previous slice. Yeah. The painful, painful, because the butter on the knife, they could. So showed them the painful and finite nature of existence. Painful. Each painful slice reminded them of the finite nature. That's gonna be more than one line, then. Reminded is kind of weak. Yeah, I like the new face idea, or like keeps having a face. There's been a lot of ambulances lately, both here and in the smaller town that I live in. I heard ambulances all night. I wonder if people are having health problems after being stuck inside for so long. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I can do both and be short. painful and finite. Yeah, but both can be a nature. Full and finite. Let's see, maybe this one. Each slice reminded them of the painful and finite nature. Maybe just life, nature of existence is a little too pretentious, or maybe too big. Hey, how's it going? Is that Joe in disguise? in Twitch persona? How's it going? Painful nature of existence. Yeah, is that? It's getting pretty. The painful and finite nature of existence. That's pretty heavy for such a simple picture. Yeah, but I think painful needs to be there. I think we'll go with that. Yeah. Oh. And we won't do that. All right. Yeah, I think we'll go with that because, yeah, it's okay. It's not too wordy. It's pretty heavy, too. So it's been a while since I've done not a nonsense one, but a pretty heavy one. All right. So no matter what was put on toast, it could never compare to pre-existing sprinkles. That's more funny, playful, and each slice reminded them the painful and finite existence of nature of existence. Perfect. Okay, that works. It is the trickiest cartoon about sliced bread. The meaning of existence and sliced bread. Meaning of existence is sliced bread. All right. Okay, well, I think that's going to do it, but let me do the convenience store. I did bring something. I have something funny to show. And it's a little... Oh, wait. How do I do this? Okay. So I'll drag a couple of things into Photoshop. So there was a mascot for this certain snack that became popular in Japan, but when it was originally when it was originally released, it was super unpopular. But the idea was they were trying to use so when they would do like cup noodle, let's try something not so intense here. When they would make cup noodle or kind of dry ramen, it would cut, the piece. They would have to cut pieces off, and there would be these extra ends of things. And so one company that did this got the clever idea of saving these ends and calling them a snack. And so the original snack that they made with these just cut ends of dried ramen and maybe they dried them afterwards. Maybe it's actually like the production of ramen. They okay, let me see if I can just drag this into here. No. Okay, well, I'll just copy it then. Okay, there we go. So the little dried ends of ramen were released as a snack called Baby Star. So Baby Star is very famous, from the originally 1950s. So they released it originally in 55, and nobody wanted it because it was just people didn't get it and it wasn't popular. But then another company kind of took the idea and released it. Let me do this one as well. And released it as, here's the original packaging. Sorry, everything is so small here. So here's the original packaging. And there's the original character. And what's funny to me is the original character is just kind of like, looks like a little Japanese girl. Not anything particularly racial or anything. And then in the 80s, they switched to this, they switched to these characters. So originally this is Bei. So this is Bei-chan. So baby. Bei-chan, and this is, so Bei and a B. So this is Bei-chan, this is B-chan. So a boy and a girl, like a brother and sister, I guess, like on the original packaging. But they went with this Chinese look, I guess, because there's a lot of those dried noodles in Chinese salads and things. And there's a couple of dishes where you put sauce and vegetables over those crunchy noodles. But can you imagine in the US if they did like this specifically cultured ethnicity, racial mascots? It looks like super racist, but in the 80s, like Chinese things were really popular because of like Dragon Ball comics and anime and stuff. So the same way that Americans can be like Anglophiles, Japanese can be cinephiles, so they can, you know, kind of love Chinese things and Chinese culture, because that's kind of original base of a lot of Japanese culture, just like British culture is a lot of base of original American culture, or, you know, at least white American culture. And so they created, they changed the characters to these very Chinese looking, but in a weird way, these characters. And but now they have retired. So in, I think it was like 2018. I'm sorry, it says right there, 2016, they retired these two characters and came up with, let me see if I can find, there's a new, so the new version of the characters for this snack are really stupid. Let me see if I can find, maybe just, image search. Yeah, the new characters are not great. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So this, I think, is what they're doing. Oh, come on. This is what's replacing those very Chinese-looking characters. Is like, I don't know, this little dude, this little EDM kid. I don't know what that's supposed to be. But so that's the new character that's replacing these very Chinese guys that replace these very Japanese little guys. So so there you go. So that's the history of that character. And then let me switch over to a closer screen so you can see this. Boom. So, but this is what you get now. So Baby Star is a really popular snack. So it's just dried ramen. It's just like that crunchy dried ramen, and it's all kind of broken up. So it's obviously detritus of a dried noodle manufacturing process that they then save and make into a snack. So there's probably like blocks of dried ramen or whatever that are used for other purposes, and the little leftover bits they put in a bag and make it a snack. But now they're starting to brand them. So here is, what is this, Demon Hunter, the what's the Japanese title? I'm totally blanking. Kimetsu no Yaiba. Yaiba. Yeah, it says right there. Sorry. Yeah. Kimetsu no Yaiba. I haven't watched it, so I don't know, but I know that it's very popular. So they put these characters on the front, and I think sometimes if they brand something, there might be a sticker or something in here, like they do with Pokemon or whatever. So let me show you what Baby Star actually looks like. So, and these are very, they're not specifically chicken or anything. Yeah. Oh, these are just salt. Yeah. So these are a very plain version. So sometimes they'll have like a chicken flavor, like a consomme or chicken powder flavor. But these are just noodles and salt. So very plain version. Maybe there were multiple flavors I didn't notice. They were almost out. This was almost the very last one. Oh, wait, but nope. I don't think that. No. There's no prize inside, but there you go. It's just a bag of leftover, and they're really good. I mean, they're a good snack. They're not that easy to eat though, because they're kind of are little bits. But Baby Star is a very old Japanese style snack. So just various broken ends of dried ramen. But good. I think I like the plain, this like just salted version better than the one that's kind of chicken soup flavored. These are much lighter. But yeah, not that easy to eat because I'm sure this little breakable. Oh, I thought for sure there would be some little sticker or premium goods in here. Yeah, because they just yeah, no, there's nothing. Oh, that's too bad. But a lot of times, so a lot of kids eat for breakfast the little Pokemon themed bread, like that has like chocolate pudding inside or whatever, and there's stickers that they come with those breads. So a lot of kids will have like hundreds of those stickers if they eat that bread every morning for breakfast. So this is a new way that they're trying to get around using a weird mascot for Baby Star, is just paying for some branding. So this is a Demon Hunter character branding of Baby Star. And oh yeah, that's the other thing, is they'll disgustingly stick in your beard, I guess, if you eat little bits of them. But yeah, these are really good. So if you see that character, I think they still will use the Chinese looking character or that little funny little kid. But anything called Baby Star is going to just be little bits of broken ramen. And it's really good. They're really interesting. But now it's hard, you have to actually read the package because it's hard to, without that like recognizable mascot, it's harder to find. But the packaging is still orange. It's still like that bright orange and red lettering. And sometimes it'll have that little character. Maybe they'll bring it back as kind of a retro thing, because that happens a lot. Yeah, those are really good. Yeah, the non-chicken flavor I think I like much better. But it just came from, them trying to figure out what to do with all those little ends of noodles they threw away when they were making dried ramen noodles. And that's what happened. But the mascots are so funny to me because that design is like, in Asia, it's super okay. But just trying to imagine that character on a package in America is really funny. Although I'm sure some of the import shops do carry Baby Star. So you probably can see that funny little Chinese kid in America in some places. All right. Okay, well, let's switch back here. I think we're pretty good. So there's all the Baby Star again. And I can't believe this is the new idea is that style. Yeah, very strange. Yeah. Oh, the funniest thing too is that package, they always want to show you what it is. So somewhere on the package, they'll actually have a depiction of the little dried noodles, but they never like have a clear window or something. So you actually see like how busted up and small they are, but they always depict like on the front of this package here, they're showing you, it looks like noodles, but yeah, just dried ramen noodles. But these are not the same as the dehydrated ones that would come like, in instant ramen. Those are like totally, like you can't eat those. Those will absorb all the moisture in your mouth. Those aren't so pleasant to eat because they're made to be rehydrated. These are made just to be, they're kind of like an alternative to fried noodles that you have in those like salads and some of those dishes. But yeah, so it's not for making instant noodles, I don't think. I think it's just for making the dried funky noodles. Okay, so that's enough Baby Star. I made 2 of those. All right. So returning to the new normal. Sour cream and onion would be great. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry. So these are just salt flavor, but usually the flavoring is. They can do a couple of different things, but usually it's that chicken what they call consommé, which is just like chicken stock bouillon cube kind of flavor. So but it's just plain because they're super light colored, like super white colored. So just salt. Yeah, but you can just put a ramen packet in there and some hot water. Oh, I think it would be pretty disgusting if you put hot water on those. But nice. Oh yeah, this would totally be excellent just to put on top of a salad. just as some different texture, just like you would with like seeds or sprouts or something. Because they're really light. They're not greasy or anything, so they're really light and crunchy. And that's what they do here in if you get a parfait, like a ice cream parfait, inside is always cornflakes or crumbled up cookies or something to give you like a variety of textures. So that's a main way that most people eat cornflakes here, is in their ice cream sundaes. Yeah, it's very strange. But that's Baby Star. And if I find any other funny Baby Star products, I'll bring those in, any weird flavors or anything, just because they're good to eat. All right. I think old Baby Star too, like those crackers that I sent, Hyphonics, have peanuts in them. Some of the old versions of Baby Star, maybe they're not chicken flavor, they're more like a Chinese flavor, but they have peanuts in the package with the noodles, which is kind of weird, but it makes it more of a snack, I guess. That's cool. Okay, well, that is it. We did it. A whole new return. So it's been months. And I can't believe. So I tried to do this 2 weeks ago, and it just wasn't going to happen. So I'm glad everything technically is back up and running. And now I think I'm going to have to do some more cleaning and make sure everything is not ruined. Because this is, I've got I'm storing a lot of paper goods and books and stuff here. So I got to make sure things aren't bad. Yes. Yeah, definitely. Definitely feels good to get out of the house. And I'll get the outdoor camera or some other kind of view onto the outside world up soon. And I'll keep eating these things and they'll fall all over the place. I'm going to find some in my beard later. That's disgusting. All right. But so thank you guys. Thanks, everyone, for watching. It's always fun, and I don't think I could get through that writing process without you guys. It really helps a lot to have that idea or something just bouncing off you guys while it's kind of while I'm coming up with it, because it seems to get more. It solidifies a lot faster. It makes more sense. Oh yeah, 3D printer. I put the hot end. I got the hot end finally came, and I replaced the surface on there, and I even did the hot like I heated it up and did the tightening like you're supposed to tighten it when it's hot, because I guess the metal it seals better, or you won't have. I mean, you're supposed to heat it up and do it, and I did that, and it's still leaking. So I'm getting a leak. I'm getting a leak out of the side of the hot end where the extruder is. So I have to figure out what I did wrong and go back and maybe just kind of take it off and put it back on. But I did also set up a laser cutter. So I have it was a 40 watt carbon laser that I've been cutting MDF and plywood and stuff with, and I haven't done acrylic yet, but I'll show you some of the stuff that I did with that too, because that was originally an idea that I was gonna do a bunch of character goods and stuff, like cut acrylic, and also like kind of useful things, because you can do what is that called, the kind of finger joint boxes and things are really easy to do with that. So I'll show some of that off next time, because there's some really cool patterns for doing that stuff. And finally that I had that on order forever. It was kind of a crowdfunded thing, and I had backed it a long time ago, and they kept delaying their international shipments. But finally that came. So I'll show off some of that. And so I'm totally fucking up the and I should just go with the resin, the photo resin instead, because I'm I'm failing miserably at the FDM 3D printing. It's a really cheap printer and should be really easy to work with, but I've had a couple of successful tests, but as far as doing my own models and things, I'm not doing well. So all right, so everybody, take care, and I'll show off some of that stuff that I did with the laser cutter next time, because that's really fun. It doesn't go, I think, half an inch is as deep as it'll cut anything, but you can also do it two-sided, like you can cut things on both sides, because it uses a camera to register any design that you do. So you bring things in, you bring vector images in. They don't even have to be. It's just like the SVGs that Adobe outputs. You just bring those in, and then it registers it with a camera, so you can just flip on both sides and cut in the same area on both sides because of the material. It registers just the shape of the material. All right, enough of that. So yeah, good to see everybody. Joe, Sedona, everybody new stopping by, and oh yeah, and yeah, Chris saw again, and Tub, thank you for stopping by. It's been good. It's good to talk, and sorry if it's depressing police brutality talk, but yeah, take care everybody, and I will be back again next week. So if you're new to the stream, abusecartoons.com is the website where you can find everything, and then if you're on Twitter at abusecartoons, and also so notifications go out both on Twitch and YouTube from the Abuse Cartoons account, and then you can also find the archive. So getting close to 20 years now of these cartoons archived on GoComics. So gocomics.com/domestic abuse, and all of those links for everything, including a Patreon. So if you want to support the cartoon and get me streaming more often, yeah, Patreon would be the way. So patreon.com/abusecartoons. So see you next week, everybody. And yeah, please take care. And I hope things get back to normal for you guys as soon as possible. So take care and be safe and peacefully protest. And I will, yeah, see you guys again next week. So take care and goodbye.